are there some cool things we should be looking to do to at least bring this voice of our soul to be just a little louder than the rest of the noise in our life?
Absolutely. So one of the things I talk about is playing our way to success, right? So again, the body keeps score and the body remembers what the mind forgets. So you don't have to go sit in some therapy chair and talk about all your inner child wounds if you just go feed the inner child. One of the best things you could do for yourself is to figure out what makes your heart smile and then do it on purpose. Because when you're in play, when you're in celebration, when you're playing Call of Duty and all the other things that make your heart smile, yeah, there we go, right? That you're offering a vibration. The universe doesn't speak English. It speaks frequency. And so when I'm in the frequency of play and my body is getting that signal over and over and over again, right? You look at me right now, right? I'll be 44 next month. I looked older at 25 than I do right now. One of the reasons why I'm so sexy is because, right? And so vibrant and alive, truly. I have 4 kids, 5 businesses, 4 houses, 1 wife. I got a lot going on. I barely sleep, and yet I have more energy than most people. It's because I offer the vibration of play every single day. So just hear me loud and clear. Schedule in play. Put it in your calendar. 2015, I did that. I tripled my income in 2015 just by doing that, because I was so full that people wanted to buy from me, hang around me. They wanted to refer me. My cup was so full that the overflow was ridiculous. That's the work.
Yeah, you're taking me back to, my gosh, maybe over a little year ago. I was in a good place, man, and I was doubting the stuff. I didn't feel in alignment with any of the businesses I was doing, and I was on a trip doing a Spartan race, which is something I love to do with my partner. And but in between, like, I just went and I had traveled with my PlayStation, and I went through a nostalgia binge of playing all my old Final Fantasy games just to kind of relive a bit of the childhood. And again, I'm always bringing things to the 3D, but this is where the 3D can't explain things that happen, because like I did that, and on that month, I just had a couple phone calls that came in that brought in the right kind of contract. I had one person I'd just been in touch with over the last 3 years, then said like, hey, I'd really want you to come into business, which completely shifted what business I was even in. And it didn't come from like white knuckle, go and make 1,000 phone calls. Although I do think there's a time and place for doing that. I think what you're saying is that oftentimes we forget the fact that when you're in this place of joy, fun, vibration, like as much as I'm like the rational guy, I'm also all about that stuff, man. Like all the best things that have happened in my life have been in an environment that's closer to what you're talking about than in the midst of a major hustle, grind, white knuckle moment. And I find that's interesting. And I feel like I need to be reminded of these things that happen at those times, because I don't think I schedule enough of those times to be able to pay attention to the next little clue of where I'm going.
Watch this. Here's the crazy part, right? Because at first it takes discipline, but then that discipline turns into blisscipline. And then it becomes just for the sake of it. You don't even need to look anymore. You already know. I literally don't look. I already know. I know that there's seeds being planted right here with you and I that I won't taste or touch or feel for 5 years from now. There's stuff that's going to come from you and I meeting and saying yes that will touch me 8 years from now. It's already good. I understand the laws of circulation, right? We don't spend money, we circulate it. First of all, that's a bad word, right? Anybody who says I spent or we're spending money, don't say that anymore. You're circulating it. Because to circulate something means it returns back to the sender. And anytime you put anything out from the consciousness of love, that has to come back to you. It's instant, and it happens over time. So that there's going to come a point where you don't even need to look for it anymore, because you're going to realize that that is literally how the universe works. It's how it works through us, right? We're not elephants. We're not giraffes. There's a way. I have friends with private jets. I have friends who own, 30, 40, $50 million worth of real estate and all that kind of stuff. And those guys are awesome and generous and happy, but so am I. And I have way less than that. And they can feel it. That's why we're friends. They're like, yo, this motherfucker is giant, right? Not because of his stuff. I don't need a dick swinging contest. I like the stuff, but the stuff doesn't mean anything to me, bro, right? The smile on my kid's face in the morning, the tickles chasing them through the house, that means something, right? The love smacking my wife's ass and kissing her and taking her on date nights, that means something. And the truth is, and this is the thing, Jason, I want to hit everybody with, is there's never been a time that you've starved on the streets of somewhere. It's always worked out. Hey, coach, healer, light worker, therapist, business owner, entrepreneur, it's always worked out. You have never not. Whether it was your money or somebody else's, it's always been taken care of. So you have evidence. The brain, the mind, wants to delete, distort, and generalize. What we do is we cut those wires and we reprogram. This is why you need to buy my book, by the way, because the game is to rewire and to reprogram. You hang in a state of consciousness enough. You start to pick it up. It starts to infuse into yourself, and you get it. This is why kids and puppies and certain things are so magical. A little baby walks in the room and everybody goes, oh, right? It's because they're tuned in. They're tuned in. So this is our job, to retune in. It's not gone. There's a part of you that has never been hurt, harmed, or endangered. There's a part of you that's still pure, that's still clean, that's still powerful. No matter how many things that have occurred, you've made it through. So you lean on that, right? If you're going to deduce certain things, right? Because that's what we do. We look into the future. We go, oh, if this doesn't happen, if I don't get a client this month, X, Y, and Z, and it means this, and my kids will starve, and I'm going to starve. And it's like, have you ever starved? Have your kids ever starved? Have you ever not had Netflix in the last 5 to 7 to 10 years? I'm pretty sure you can always get water. You can always get food. The only way you fail is if you quit.
Thank you so much for listening to the Selling with Love podcast. We have some previous episodes you can tune into right here. And if you prefer the short form content where you get to the point in under 10 minutes, we do have a ton of clips from our best episodes that are being shared on this channel as well. So pick which one supports you the most. And of course, thank you for liking, subscribing, and of course, selling with love.